Ooh, what's going on? What's going on? Real quick before I go handle this business. Hey, so there've been reports that that have come out that Canelo Alvarez had rejected the $100 million deal that was given to them by PBC, our two-fight deal with Jamal Charlo and also with David Benavidez, and that he's going with the DAZN deal, which will be him facing Bivol, and after that him facing Gennady Golovkin, and that Bivol has, quote, signed his part of the deal, and they're waiting still on Gennady Golovkin to finish up other parts of what's going on with him to sign that portion of the deal as well. And then I guess then Canelo will sign, and everything will be done as it pertains to that. I'm gonna say, and supposedly that they haven't talked to PBC for, I guess, over 10 days. They haven't been in talks in over 10 days. Going by all that stuff, I'll just say I wouldn't believe any of it right now. And the only reason I'm going to say that is just due to the fact that these are the same people that have put up multiple stories, and Canelo's team on multiple occasions have come out and said, don't believe those stories, they're BS. Literally within the last 10 days, they've come out and said, hey, we're still mulling over the two deals, and we haven't decided which one we're going to take yet. So I don't understand what you're talking about. They haven't talked within 10 days. That doesn't make any sense. That was before the even information came out about the $100 million that was offered. So all I'm going to say is with this, the same people who keep coming out with this information, that quote from like the ESPNs and Mike Coppingers, the Dan Raphaels, and I guess some ESPN reporters, as when it some DAZN reporters. When it comes to all of these people, I would say you can't believe anything they say. I'm not even saying that it's not true that he's going to take that deal. I don't know what deal he's going to take, because Canelo's the type of person that he'll take a cheaper deal. If he looks at it as like, hey, this fight's, I'm going to make less money, but there are less dangerous fights, and long term, I'm going to be better off because I'm not putting myself in the danger that I'll put myself in these particular fights over here. He'll take those deals because he'll look at things long term and say, hey, it's more conducive, for my longevity to take these two fights instead. And I'll make up that extra bread on the back end. He will do that. That's why he was taking the $32 million per fight to fight these super bums that they're putting in front of him. Because it's monetarily it made sense to do that with what was being put in front of him. So I'm not even saying that he's not going to take the Bivol and the Gennady Golovkin deal. Bivol looked he's just slow. He's tall, he's big, but he's slow. And he's kind of, Canelo Alvarez knows how to handle fighters like him. And Gennady Golovkin, he's been lost a couple fights that, that he got gift decisions on. I'm not even sure if he's gonna get through his next fight, to be honest. In Japan, I'm not even sure he's gonna get past that. But so that's all I would say when it comes to that. I wouldn't believe anything that's coming out of these people's mouths. They've been wrong too many times. When you put out information and you've been wrong 4 or 5 different times, when these people have come out and said, oh no, no, they're lying. They don't know what's going on. Don't believe anything until we put it out. If that's the case, then there's no point in believing them. And I also don't believe them because you see Charlo, you see their side, they're still quiet. When Canelo Alvarez actually walked away from the Caleb Plant fight, he was done, and they try to take that deal and try to utilize it as leverage and try to get a deal with DAZN for something that was monetarily close so they could fight a Bivol. For maybe a little bit less money, but to them it was a less dangerous fight than the Plant fight. Plant started coming out. He let it be known, hey, this is what's going on, because everybody tried to make it seem as if Plant was trying to get too much money or somehow it was Plant's fault. No, and his representative started coming out like, nah, this is what they were offered. He walked away from this. These are all the things that he was, that he was given, and he said no to. They started let it be known. Because he'd walked away, he'd walked away. So then we find out, what was really going on real quick. And then DAZN couldn't come anywhere close, to what was being offered. So then they came back, and then started negotiating, and everything went silent again. But so far with this, there's been no breaking of silence. Everything has stayed constant and consistent. DAZN, as far as when it comes to PBC side, they've been quiet, and the only thing that Canelo Alvarez side has been doing is coming out and rejecting any notion that they have made a decision already. You know, this is how many they supposedly had made a decision before already, and that turned out to be not the case. You know, so how many times exactly are these people going to spill out information before people start to say, you know what, let me just sit back and just chill, you know, and wait to see what exactly happens before, you know, I come up with a conclusion. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not necessarily going to come up with a conclusion when it comes to that. I put out the deal, the information, as far as, you know, the deal that they're putting out with the Bevo, to let people know that, hey, even with the Charlo fight, the Charlo fight's the better deal. Fine, monetarily is the better deal. People just get enamored with the numbers. Oh, this says 85 and this says 45. So 85 is better than 45. No, when you dig into the actual details, that's not the case. That's not the case. And this 85 also is not guaranteed. Only 42.5 of that is guaranteed, not the 85. You know, so it's not a better deal. You know, so, but, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what Canelo ends up choosing. And to just make the assumption that he's not going to do the PBC deal, I say that's off base. It's absolutely off base. I say we got to sit back, we got to chill, relax, and then see what exactly he picks. And we can't go by the information of these people. When somebody's wrong over and 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 over, at some point you got to say, all right, I'll listen to the information. You know, I'll see if anything comes out that corroborates it. But for now, I'm not going to necessarily just take it as fact or anything even close to fact. That's just a little piece of information that I have here. Let me put it in my pile. Let me put it on my wall over here. And then once I get other things pop up, let me see if I can end up connecting the dots to that. You know, then you can say that. But, you know, like I said, nothing. You've heard absolutely nothing from the PB side whatsoever. You've heard nothing from Charlo. He's staying quiet. You know, that means they probably still believe that, hey, there's still something that can be done. And too much has happened in this 10. Supposedly he was just out of the running a couple of days ago when he was supposedly arrested. He's just out of the running now. I thought he should have been, supposedly he was out of the running before that even happened. It doesn't make any sense. And when it doesn't make any sense, what I always do is I lay back and I wait. You know, like, subscribe, share, I'm out.